So let's go to a main CSS over here like this, and then let's decide where we would want to place it, right? So we can either go all the way to the top of our document, right? And we can place it right, let's say in front of over here this header, right, that we were working on, right? So, or we can place it where our banner is, right? We can place it over here, where's the nav bar. It's really where you would want, right? Or you can go all the way back and actually place it in the bottom, where is our where's going to be our footer, right? It really depends on you where you would want to set those rules, right? So what I would want to do is probably I'm just going to place it with the general rules, right? So over here, where's the header, right? I'm going to create a comment, and over here I'm just going to say this is going to be a nav bar, right? And over here we're going to just create the rules, right? So the first thing that I'm going to just select is this class, this navbar class that we had. And I'm going to say that this is going to have a border, right? A border of actually 0 over here like this. And then we're going to say that this is going to have a padding, right? And that padding is going to be 10 pixels top bottom, right? But it's going to be 0 to the sides, right? Now what I would want to do is, as we're transitioning, actually in navbar, we're just going to create a little bit of, nicer transition, right? So here, if we have a transition, right, we're just going to write that all the transitions that are happening are going to be like 1 second, and it's going to be ease over here, ease in out, right? Over here like this. And what's going to happen is, as we're actually hovering over the links, right, it's going to be slower, right? It's not going to be as fast, right? Now, the next thing that we want to do is actually go ahead and add a class that we're going to be using as we're scrolling down, right? Because what's going to happen is, right now we have over here this black nav bar, right? But what we would want to do is actually create it much more transparent, right? And as we're scrolling down, you'll see that it actually changes, right? But as you can see, we haven't had this class in a HTML, right? So here we're just going to create, this is going to be a transparent class over here like this. And we're just going to add some background and some color to it, right? So we're just going to say this is going to be background. This is going to be RGBA over here like this. And then we're going to say 0, 0, 0. And again, this is going to be 0.7, right? Over here like this, right? And again, this class we're not going to see right now. We're actually going to attach it using the jQuery, right? As we start scrolling, right? Now, the next thing that we would want to do is actually style these nav links, right? So I'm going to write nav a over here like this. And then I'm going to say color, right? And I'm going to write white. And I'm going to say that this is going to be important over here like this. And the reason for that, if I didn't write important, as always, the Bootstrap actually has a preset, right, colors. And I would need to write this important to override it, right? And as you can see that it also styled this one because it's also considered a link, right? But we're going to style it separately, a little bit different color, right? So again, I'm going to make this one smaller over here like this. And the next thing that we want to do is, as we're hovering, we would want actually this orange color, right? So we'll write nav over here, and we're going to say a, and we're going to write hover, right? And over here, what we're going to say that this is going to have a color, right? And again, we're going to be using this orange one, right? So we're going to write F15025, right? Over here like this. And let's check it out, whether we have it or not. Over here like this. And what happens, right? And nothing is happening, right? So again, we would need to use this important, right? This addition that we're basically overriding over here, these rules, right? So we would go back, and I can just copy in this case, right? Just say copy, and we can just paste it, and we right away can see that this is now turning orange because we wrote this important, right? Now, after that, what we would want to do is style this class active that we added to our glyphicon that was that looked like a house, right? So over here we write class active, and we're going to say a, right? So this is going to be our glyphicon, right? And I'm going to say that this is going to have a background, right? And the background is actually going to be none, right? And again, let's check it out, whether it worked or whether we need to add this important one, right? So wrong one. So we just create it over here. And we can see that nothing has happened, right? So we need to add this important, right? So we go back, and again, over here, we have a couple of options. We can just copy, or we can just do it like this, right? Or if we can just write it. So again, if I just save it, and if we go back, now you can see that I have no background because I actually changed the value for the Bootstrap, right? For the preset value, right? And after that, we're going to say that this is going to have a color right away, and this is going to be this orange color, right? So in this case, I'm just going to copy this line over here like this, and we're just going to over here copy and paste it over here like this. And then we can save it. And after that, what we would want to do is actually work on this brand over here. This is going to be this Navbar Brand link, right? So over here, we write a Navbar Brand. This is going to be our class from HTML. And we're going to see, and you can see the brackets right away. Selecting it, you can see that this is going to be a font size over here. And we're going to say this is going to be 30 pixels, right? Something like this. Then we're going to say this is going to have a font style over here like this. And we're going to say this is going to be italic, right? And then again, we're going to add this color, right? So we're going to say that this is going to have a color, right? And this is going to be this orange one, right? So we're just going to copy this one right away with important, just in case, right? So we don't need to write it, right? And now we have this imagine with this orange color, right? Now the next thing that we want to do over here is start styling this toggle button, right? So over here, we're just going to create a new rule, right? We're going to say that we would want a toggle button style, right? So over here we select the class of Navbar Toggle over here like this, right? Now you can see that the Bootstrap is giving us right away a live preview that we're selecting the Navbar Toggle, right? So we write color, we write white, right? So we can see it a little bit better, right? We're going to write font over here size. This is going to be 20 pixels, right? So we right away got it better. And over here, we're going to write a border color, right? And we're also going to write white, right? But again, nothing happens. What we would need to do over here, import tont over here like this. And maybe I just didn't see it because let's check it out. Let's just have a live preview over here. And let's check it out what happened. Yeah, we need to add important, right? Because again, sometimes with these small things, using live preview, sometimes you think that nothing has happened because you have this blue one, right? But maybe actually in the case, it's just live preview is messing up the view, right? So now we have a white important border color. And then we would want to add a couple of more rules as we're actually hovering over, right? As we have a focus over here like this. And let me just grab it all the way to the top, right? So let's add a couple of more rules, right? So we're going to say that Navbar Toggle as we're hovering and when it's in focus, right? So here we place a over here like this, and then we say that this is going to be a Navbar Toggle over here, and we're going to say this is going to be a focus over here like this, and we're going to say that this is going to be a background color is going to be white, right? Important, and the color is going to be orange, right? So here we're going to say the a background color over here like this. We're going to say that this is going to be a white, right? And we're going to say this is going to be important, right? And after that, we're going to say color is going to be a orange one, right? So we're going to go with color, and we're going to write over here F1515025, right? Over here like this. So we save it, and what happens is, as you can see, as I'm hovering, it's actually the button is background white, and the color is orange, right? And after that, what we would want to do is actually Navbar Collapse, right? So when we open up over here, right? And as you remember, as I was talking about, right, that I would want a different over here, this, I would want it to show all the way if I'm actually selecting them, right? So if I go back over here like this, you can see that I wouldn't want this scroll, right? So how do we do that, right? And over here we just go and we would select a Navbar Collapse, right? So we would just write Navbar Collapse over here like this, and we would say that the border color is going to be a orange one over here like this. We're going to say that this is going to be a border color, and the border color is going to be a orange one over here like this. So again, we're going to use the same one, 05 to 05, and over here we're going to say this is going to be important, right? And what we would need to do is max height over here like this, and we're going to say this is going to be none, right? There's no max height over here, and we're going to say this is going to be important also, right? Now you can see that right away they're all showing, right? Now one more thing, probably what we should do over here is add a little bit of font size, right, that I missed over here, right? You can see that nav A, right? And what we would want to do is actually add some font size, right? So here I'm going to write a font size, and I'm going to say this is going to be like 16 pixels, right? And once we have added over here this font size, right, what we can do over here, we can just make it bigger, right? Make it all the way, maximize it, right? And now you can see that this is going to be our menu, right? And there's a couple of things that I want to add to this navbar, right? One of the things is going to be a Bootstrap scroll spy, and as we're going over the sections, right, it's actually going to lighten up and be orange over here like this, right? So the class is actually going to be active, right? So this class is going to be changing. That's going to be one thing. And also we're going to add some transparency once we actually start scrolling, right? So those are the two things that I'm going to add over here to this navbar. But pretty much as far as HTML and CSS is concerned, right, this is actually it, right? So this is going to be on a smaller screen, right? So we can toggle the button, right? And this is going to be this border that we just created over here, right? This orange one, right? And over here on a bigger one, right? This is how it would look like, right? So let's go ahead and let's actually add the scroll spy option for our navbar.